How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here at Streets of Willow. I'm here with my dad today, and I have the truck. Scott's also here, and we have the Crossfire, and my friend Logan is taking out his NB Miata. So this is his first track day. So he's just over there in the classroom right now learning, and then he'll be going on the skid pad. I didn't go on the skid pad today because my tires are pretty low. I'm just gonna wear them out at this track day. Hopefully they'll last for the whole weekend, but we'll see. Maybe they'll only last a day, and tomorrow I'll just kind of be waiting around. But either way, it'll be a fun time. I'm about to go out in about 5-10 minutes, and I'll do my first session. I've driven this track before in my dad's Lotus Evora 400, and it was a lot of fun. We're not doing the full track today because they don't have enough people to work the corners. We're doing maybe about half of the track. You'll see it in the video. This will be my first time doing this track in the Crossfire, so we'll see how it goes. It's a much tighter track with tighter corners, and the Crossfire steering is pretty dead. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, you're good. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you.
So as you can see, it's quite a short track. We're already at where we entered the track, just about to pass it right here. This is the main straight, well, the only straight on this track, and what you want to be doing is you want to be going really fast, and you just accelerate all the way up this hill. You get on the brakes and you start turning into the right. You kind of want to clip the apex of the corner, and you want to get on the gas here a lot. You have to get on the brakes again pretty hard and start turning in. You want to clip the apex of the corner again on this corner right here. Then you just keep going up, 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 slam on the brakes again pretty hard, and you have to turn in here. And it's a little sketchy over there because the track is kind of falling apart, but then you're flooring it through here, and then you have to get back on the brakes again really hard before this little chicane. And then you turn back to the left, and then you want to stay far to the left, but the track was kind of braking towards the edge where those cones were, so you got to be careful. You don't want to bend a wheel. You turn in, and then you're flooring it again, and you go up. It's a really, really short track, but it's still fun. The main issue with the Crossfire is that, as I've discussed earlier, the brakes really are not very good, especially with my setup. So in a lot of these places where I'm accelerating pretty quickly because the car has a lot of power for how light it is, I'm not really able to slow myself down fast enough, and I was very quickly getting a lot of brake fade on this track. And on top of that, my front tires were really quite worn down, so there were a lot of places on this track where my car was just understeering, especially on these really, really tight corners. So right here, this is where I was getting the most brake fade, so after a while I had to just start slowing down before that little chicane so that I wouldn't be on my brakes quite as hard. You know, the Crossfire I think would be fine on this track. It's just, you know, a combination of having brakes that aren't really suited for my setup right now, and also not having front tires with much tread on them at this track day. It wasn't a great situation, but it was still a lot of fun. So here I am, flooring it, on the brakes, turn into the left, stay towards the left, and then you kind of get back on the power again here. But this is really where I would need really good brakes, because my car really didn't want to make this turn right here. It really wanted to go all the way out, and I want to be on the power here as much as I can, but like I said earlier, I have to slow down really, really quickly to make it through that chicane, and my brakes just weren't really cutting the mustard. also known for being a very bumpy track. As you can see, there are lots of cracks in the actual track surface, and towards the edge of the track, there are a lot of places where the track is kind of starting to break away, and there are potholes. As you can see, right after the chicane, there is a single cone on the left, indicating where there is a big pothole where you could potentially bend a wheel or damage suspension components or maybe a tire. Crossfire is a pretty small car with relatively good handling, but when you go to a track like this, especially this smaller layout of Streets of Willow, you can really start seeing how well cars like the FRS or Miatas or an S2000 do at the much tighter, smaller technical tracks. Because although the Crossfire has a lot of power and good handling, a Miata is going to be able to get around these extremely tight corners much better than my car. I think the Crossfire will perform much better at this track once I get bigger calipers and rotors. Then I won't have to worry about having to let off before a lot of these very tight corners, because I know my brakes will be able to take it. This upcoming corner was especially difficult in my car. I don't know if it has to do with my car wanting to understeer rather than oversteer, and it just having more weight in the front, or if it just had to do more with not having enough tread on my front tires and not having very much grip. But that corner you saw earlier where that car just went off was very difficult in the Crossfire and was not very confidence inspiring. Pass me. I think it was a Carrera, but I'm not completely sure. He was just a better driver than me, I think, and also his car got around these tight corners much better. did quite a bit of complaining about my car's setup in this video, but in reality, I still had a lot of fun, and my car still did pretty well at this track overall. I don't think it would be a mistake taking a Crossfire to this track, definitely not a mistake to do it, but I'm at a point where I obviously am starting to notice certain limiting factors on my car, and at this track day, it was specifically the brakes and tires, as I've mentioned multiple times earlier in the video. Overall though, it did a great job, I had a lot of fun, and I'll definitely be coming back once I update my setup.
Alright, so I finished up my second and last session of the day. I didn't end up getting a chance to record my first session out, but I recorded my second session, which you guys will have just seen. And I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I had no grip in the front. These tires are maybe 2 years old and have seen quite a few track days. And this side's pretty bad. You can see there's not much tread left. We're almost down to the white wear marker being worn off. And on this side, it completely chunked. You can't really see it now because I drove around a little bit afterwards to get back to the pits and where I'm sitting right now. But I checked with some of the other guys running the event and they said I probably shouldn't go out on these tires. They're pretty much done. It's a little hard to see, but we're about at the cords. So yeah, it was fun in the Crossfire. I must say though that this car is a little big for this track, but it can take the track and it can still be pretty quick. But of course, if you are going to go do Streets of Willow in your Crossfire, you'll want to make sure your tires are new and you have plenty of tread, unlike me. Also, the tires heated up pretty fast, and this car doesn't really like super tight corners and super sharp 90-degree turns. There's a lot of them at this track. But yeah, it was pretty fun. It sucks that I won't be able to drive for tomorrow, but hopefully they'll give me a partial return or some credit so that I can just go to their next event instead of having to lose half of my money for the track day or weekend. So yeah, next time you see the car, it should have new tires, a new alignment, hopefully new bigger brake calipers, and I'll be doing a bunch of other service stuff on the car. I might even have my new wing ready. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day.